Hey, it's the promo goddess.
Hey, it's your girl, the Polished Lady.
It's your girl, D Dowdy.
Hello, beautiful people. It's B. Michelle.
And we are Herspective Podcast.
Tune into the interview, y'all.
So how did you guys get started doing the podcast?
Ooh, girl. So this is what happened, right? So D Daddy was like, B. Michelle, I love you so much. I want to have you on my show that I'm thinking of. What should we call it? Nah, I'm just kidding. Go ahead, tell them how it really
You
happened.
are.
I'm just saying.
You're a child.
That's how it really started.
No, so me and B Michelle, we worked on other platforms before.
Mm-hmm.
So we automatically had that chemistry and we automatically became friends. And she's always been a passionate person. She's very deep. We always had great conversations and a good time together. And when I wanted to create my own podcast, I'm like, she would be the perfect co-host. So I reached out to her, asked her what she thought. She was trying to get into, my bad. She was trying to get into other avenues and stuff like that. So she decided to do it.
I did. I said I like her a little bit, so let's do this thing. All right.
So when did you proclaim like her a lot of it and start your podcast together?
No, like she said, we was already friends. And I was helping her on her previous ventures in the podcast world. So when she asked me, I was thrilled because I enjoyed when I was on a podcast with her before and as a guest.
She was a guest on the previous podcast. I was a part of another podcast, The Levels of Melanin. It was 3 of us.
I remember
I've
that.
heard of that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and she was a guest before, and then she used to help us in the background. We was building like a background team, and she was a part of that. So when we decided to go our separate ways, she was the first person I reached out when I was like, I want to start my own podcast.
Yep. And like you said, we're friends, but we both have like 2 different point of views, 2 different, personalities. So we just felt like it would work and we meshed well, and people would love to hear what we had to say.
Right.
So yeah. So now we're here.
So is the concept and the things that you talk about mainly geared towards women, or do you make it towards both?
Yeah, we it's geared toward Black women, but we try to women just totally, and we want men to listen to it. That's why we throw in his perception. So men feel like, oh, this just about females, so they don't feel like it's just about females. Yeah.
And we felt it was very important as Black women who don't get much light and who don't get listened to with the stuff that matters.
Right.
If that makes sense. So we wanted to have a platform where we can be heard and be
heard.
Thank you. And so, and it's a necessity in our community. Black women don't get to be vulnerable and talk about things that we go through very often, and not have a filter about it. And so we wanted to have that platform where we could do that.
It's a free space for women.
So yeah.
So speaking of being vulnerable, you brought that up. What has been like the most vulnerable part that you guys feel about podcasting, or just like topics that you hit on so far?
As far as topics, I would feel like when I talked about postpartum, that's when I cried. I think that was the first time I cried on the show. It's postpartum. I talked about that, and it hasn't dropped quite yet. But when I talked about my friends, when my friends came around,
the new episode,
that's dropping. Spoiler alert, I cried again. And so I feel like those are my most vulnerable moments. And then, to be honest, every time we say anything, it's vulnerable. Like everybody hears it. Everybody gets our point of view.
Right.
Everybody hears everything that we're thinking we have to say right when that episode drops. So that within itself is like a lot, because now everybody hears my opinion. They may not like it. They may not care about my opinion, but you gonna hear it, and that's what it is. But yeah, what about you? Oh, I'm not interviewing.
We're not podcasting.
I was like, what about you, D Dowdy? Girl, not a podcast. Please cut this
And I was
out.
about to answer too. I'm like, oh, she wasn't supposed to say that. I'm waiting on y'all to bring it to me.
Oh God, I'm sorry.
Well, since she took my question, what about you?
Right. Oh, forgive me, y'all.
So, My most vulnerable moments was like around my birthday. Like I was real super emotional. I just turned 30, August 22nd, 1990. Last Leo standing.
Oh God, here we go.
Last Leo standing.
Here we go.
She hate when I say that. But yeah, so I was
extra.
like really just emotional. Like I was going through a breakup. It was just so many things going on in my life, and I was just like super emotional. Like I remember one time we was about to record, and like I had like a breakdown like right before we recorded. I had to get myself together. We was on live. I was like, woo. So
be like that.
Right. So that happened, and then I did like a girls talk episode for my birthday, and all my friends, like all my close female friends besides my best friend, they all went around and talked about like what type of friend I am and what I mean to them, and that made me cry. So those are the two emotional moments I've had on the podcast.
Blessed to have that. Blessed.
So as far as like some of the things that you talk about, how do you tap into that vulnerability and being able to discuss the things that you guys talk about?
I've always been a vulnerable person because I write poetry, so I've always known how to express myself and write my thoughts out and my emotions and stuff like that. So it's easy, like it comes natural. I like to talk, so it just comes natural for me to just express myself and talk, and you know, it's just natural. I like people to know how I feel and what I think, so I just let it flow.
And for me, it was a little harder, but because most of my life I didn't really always say what I felt, and so through the many ventures I've been in my life and different things I've experienced in my life, I've come to the stage where I don't care, and I don't know if we can cuss on here, so I don't give a fuck. So and so now it's just like, and I've learned through experiences with my friends and different things, like when you give people that authenticity, it helps you get through some shit. Like me giving my story and being honest and being open and vulnerable might help another mother through something, or might help another black woman through something, or somebody who just happens to come upon our episode one day and like, oh shit, she went through that too. It's not just me.
Yeah.
Testimonies really help people through stuff, and then for me, vice versa, I know I'm not going through stuff alone. So being vulnerable, it was hard for me at first, but you know, once you realize the responsibility of it and the necessity of it, it's easy from there.
And then I also helped her.
She did. I knew she was going to say that.
Helped, like not present, helped. I helped her express herself and say what she got to say and say what she feel, because sometimes she be trying to hold back. And I'm like, girl, let it out. Say what you got to say. Right. Be her.
No, I will agree. Like I said, like we said earlier, we are friends off the camera. I mean, off the mic or whatever you want to say. And so she has been a great part of that journey. So yeah, so she does help me a little bit.
So I appreciate the fact that, you know, you guys touched on being bold and being transparent, sharing your authenticity on the mic. But like, can you talk to me about how society views, you know, your podcast? And I know that you say you don't give a fuck, but what was some of the first reactions that you know, got, or the feedback that you got from your podcast, and what that made you feel like, and if that changed any way you wrote, any way you recorded, or anything like that?
Okay, so when we first launched, the first couple episodes, like the first 2 or 3 episodes, like super serious. Like we talking about deep stuff that's like making people emotional. They like, okay, I don't know if I can listen to this. I ain't trying to cry. I ain't trying to be in my feelings. So we like, okay, this was a little too serious. Like I didn't laugh not once. So we had to go back to the drawing board. Like, okay, we gonna talk about serious stuff, and then we gonna talk about funny stuff and relatable stuff. Also, like we gonna mix it. We're not gonna make super serious shows all the time, but sometimes it gotta be that, and sometimes we can drop the BS episodes as well. So in the beginning, it was like people was like, I don't really know if I can. They're too serious for me. But then once we got into like episode 5 or something like that, it got more lighthearted. Like we try to be multifaceted. So
right. And I think at the beginning, like a lot of people thought I was just on D Daddy's dick.
Oh my God.
And we do agree with a lot of stuff, so we're friends and we do agree on a lot of topics. But I feel like once my personality came out more later in the episodes, once we had funny episodes,
Right.
and stuff like that, people were like, "Oh, okay."
B. Michelle is not a lesbian.
Right, that one really hit it. I think that was the one.
Yeah, you get that a lot?
Well, okay, first of all, is this part of the let me see your question. Okay, so no, I'm just saying, no, because I've been single for a long time, and that episode thrived from my grandmother who wants me to be married so bad and thinks I'm gay because I'm not single. I mean, because I'm not with somebody, and because I am single still. So that's where that question thrived from. Gotcha. I mean, people might think I don't give a fuck.
Like our first episode was titled, what was it? They don't feel our pain. Or, there was something about.
Sound deep.
Right, that's what I see. I forgot
like I heard Mary J sing.
It was like, wow.
And now looking back on it, man, it was really serious.
Yes.
And like I said, I don't think people got to see, because people already knew D Dowdy from like before when she was in her other podcast.
They knew you too.
They knew more of D Dowdy, and so once I started to come out a little bit more in the funnier episodes, and they got to see more of my personality, and we kind of found our groove. So like, yeah, I think that's the part that people don't realize, that you got to kind of find your groove and get into it.
So y'all, that was how they still don't believe in our pain. That's what the first episode was.
She had to go make sure it was right.
Fact check.
Fact check. Hey.
That is hilarious.
Yeah.
But
I'm sorry, forgive us, y'all. We are goofballs. Sorry.
It's cool though. It actually adds to the environment as far as like not always being serious and having those, like uptight interviews and things like that. So,
right.
Yeah.
And even with the podcast, it adds, a little bit of depth and a little bit of excitement to it as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
so you say you got into your rhythm. What would you say is? Do you have a niche? Like a niche? Like what is your rhythm of the flow of podcast for your show?
I wouldn't say we have a niche because we don't like really focus on one thing. Like we talk about multiple things, multiple topics, we have multiple guests. Like we don't focus on a specific type of individual.
Or genre or whatever word you want to use. Like we're very open-minded people, so we want to talk about anything. We don't want to leave anything out of the balance when it comes to Black women. So from the nerdy stuff I like to talk about to the hood shit to the it don't matter. Like like it don't matter. Like you said, we don't close. I don't think we have a niche, but we found our groove as far as the podcaster.
Yeah.
So as far as a topic change, I want to get into something, since we're all, women. A woman's intuition. How would you define that?
Oh, something we ignore too much.
Boy.
But
you never lied there.
we do. But I do believe it's something that God has just blessed us with to help us navigate through this life. We have a lot of gifts as women.
I agree.
Not just women's intuition. We're nurturers naturally. We nurture whatever we get. So if you give us good, we nurture that. If you give us bad, we nurture the shit out of that too. So you get what you pay for, friends. But women's intuition, that's just our mind and our gut telling us what's right and what's wrong for us. I feel like individually for you, what's right, what's wrong for you. If this man is this woman, her energy, it's just like it's a check.
This job,
this job, it's
messing up the energy.
It ain't the vibe.
Right, it's the vibe that's telling you, that's the that's the woman's intuition when it's like, no, yes. Yes, the yes and no of the woman. That's the woman's intuition. There you go. That's what we'll call it.
I like that. How would you define it?
I would define it as like your heart talking to you.
Just like
I was trying so hard not to let her, but I'm so glad.
Your heart is talking to you.
Okay, but that's good though. The heart and the soul is talking to you. That's that poetry. Chicken and soup. That's right there. I said it's the yes or no of the woman. She said,
I used to read the books.
And that's why you so deep.
She said it's the heart.
Did you name the first episode? Okay.
Yeah, probably so.
That makes sense.
Yes, indeedy. But that's good.
Well, that was straightforward.
Right.
Now that we got through that, talk to me about the power of self-talk. How do you encourage other women, as yourself, you encourage your friend, be Michelle, to speak up and be more vocal about what she thinks? How would you say that has affected y'all energy when y'all recording and stuff like that? And just in general, what advice would you give to another woman about speaking up?
Well, first, write it down. So if you got, certain feelings and certain thoughts, you don't know how to express them, write it down. And I learned that at a young age. That's how I got into writing poetry. Because, like, I would go through things, and my mom would always tell me, like, if you don't know how to express yourself, because my father raised me. So she's like, if you don't know how to talk to your daddy, just write it down, write it down. So when I got older, I started turning my thoughts and my feelings into poetry. And then the older I got, I started speaking, instead of just always writing it, I started speaking it. So if you don't know how to express yourself, start off writing it down, and then naturally, you'll be able to speak it. And then talk to yourself in the mirror, write words of affirmations down, put them up. Brooke do this. Be Michelle, my bad. She write little inspirational sticky notes, or somebody might say something to her, and she'll put it on a note card. She got like a clothesline pen thing, like hanging up in her bathroom. And she, like, say if I said, "You're beautiful, don't let nobody tell you," she's like, "You're beautiful, don't let it," and she'll put it like she'll put it on it.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, like she got all these little messages that people done said, or quotes she done learned, her favorite quotes, she got them all up. And I went in her bathroom one day, I'm like, this is a good idea, like this is tight. Like I don't do that. I just put a little sticky note, put it on my bed or something, or on my wall, like some place I see every day.
Right.
But that was a good idea. Or even get like a dry erase board. Write daily motivational messages to yourself. Download an app like I got the self. It's an app called like the Selfish app, and it's like for self-love and motivation. And they send like quotes or inspirational things to you daily to lift you up and make you feel better about yourself. So I think every woman needs that. Like before you give it to your friends, you got to give it to yourself.
Facts. I like that.
True.
Put that on a little.
Yes.
A little Instagram post.
Yes.
Yeah, that's my thing. I definitely make sure that I be like trying to send out a positive message to everybody and include my story, because like y'all say, people want you to be authentic.
Yeah.
And you can be positive every day.
You cannot.
Right.
But you can always try.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
It's a journey as far as like learning how to really be able to self-talk and promote lift yourself up out of those dark moments. So yeah. Like I do the board, and then I also I have a journal I write in every day. Like I feel like if I do not write, then it's just gonna be
Right. Yep.
Yeah, I agree, y'all. I'm trying to do better. I haven't been doing my quotes as much, but like whatever that is for you, you gotta talk to yourself. Even if it's meditation,
talk to yourself.
Meditation, talking to yourself, driving
in the car.
When I get home, I literally take. Most moms do this. Before you walking in that chaotic house, or even before I pick up my son, I'll sit in the car and just breathe for a minute.
You gotta get it out.
Because sometimes I don't have time to do meditation or take time for myself. So like that 5 minutes is serious between me going to get my son and going home, because after I get him, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, it's really not much more me time. So yeah, you had to take that time for yourself and uplift yourself, because everybody's not always going to be there for you all the time. You got to be able to be there for yourself.
Right.
And that's where a lot of people, I feel like,
And that.
fall off the bandwagon, because everybody has something going on.
Right.
You are always going to show up for yourself, no matter what. And you have to. So, yeah.
Now, one of the things you guys do on Instagram, I believe, is the roses to men. And you also have one for women too, don't you?
We do.
Or is it like a mixture
either.
of both?
Yeah,
Okay. So where did the idea come from, and then what is the purpose behind it?
So the idea came from, you know how they say give people their roses while they're still alive. So it's like we want to give acknowledgement to people that's doing something, or somebody that helped us out, or somebody we see, like, I see you, we proud of you. Like, so like other people might not see it or acknowledge you for what you're doing, but we gonna acknowledge
Right.
And me and D-Dottie have always been supportive people. We support the city real heavy. People that are doing things, Black community in general. So also I feel like it's turned into that too, like shouting out to people, like you said, acknowledging people who are doing things in the city. We, like you said, we see what you're doing, we see your work you're putting in, and we support you in that. So I think the support that we try to show people also is behind those roses as well.
Right. And it's also a way of letting other people know, like, that don't know these certain individuals. It's also a way to, introduce them to the people.
Right. Nice.
Right.
And I don't think I see a lot of podcasting people doing that, and I respect y'all for it.
Thank you.
Absolutely. It's not a lot of people in general that do that.
Right.
So yeah, I definitely I agree with the polished lady on that one.
Yeah. I just got tired of hearing people say Andy don't support nobody.
Yes.
And that's not true.
It's not true.
Look at these lovely drawers.
Yes.
I got a cheat.
Hey, plug. Faces by face.
Hey.
I think I'm
you
going
see
through
I
the
stopped. You see I stopped. I'm cool. I
This
took
was
my
a
little
batch
sip.
batch.
Man.
I don't want a batch.
Yeah, don't get no batch. Cause I'm like, yep.
Let's talk about your self-care routine and how y'all maintain self-care for yourselves while also running a podcast.
And being a mommy.
Yeah, you go first.
I was like, don't.
I'm a mompreneur
The mother.
too.
Hey,
It's hard.
throw yours in there too.
It's harder
since we
for
on the
you.
topic.
Right. Well, D-Daddy, if you listen to a couple episodes ago, she already got on my head about this. I'm trying to be better. I haven't had much time being an entrepreneur, trying to do these ventures, working full time, being a mom full time.
It ain't no joke.
It ain't no joke, and it ain't no time.
But you a boss
so
though.
here's the thing.
No joke.
And so and then there's I'm upgrading in life and different things. So budgeting is in another thing. So I literally just made a post the other day trying to get some ideas and some home self-care ideas to do. And self-care looks different for everybody.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's true.
The other day I literally just got things in order. My laundry in order, different things in order, bills, what I'm gonna do for the week, because when stuff is organized, I'm able to function better during my
Absolutely.
week. And that relieves a lot of stress off of me. So, and actually gives me more time during the week because I ain't gotta run around looking for this outfit for the next day because I got the outfits ready for the next 5 days or whatever.
Go
So,
ahead.
yeah.
I used to do that in
Goals.
elementary school. I can't keep up no more.
That's the thing. But if you take those 3 hours that, and do that, it gives you more hours during the week. So I'm trying to be better. I'm not saying I'm not gonna sit here and lie, say I do it all
I like
the time.
that, though.
But
I
I'm
like
trying.
that.
Yeah, I like
so that's
that.
self-care for me while I'm listening to my music until I'm able to implement even better self-care protocols. But yeah, like I said, it looks different for everybody.
Right.
If you can't do it, treat yourself, take yourself out, all the above. Those things I want to do in the future, but right now it's just the boss is moving, so hey. So.
Right. And just to hit on what you were saying about me being a mompreneur, I have a 2-year-old and he's not in daycare. So one of the things that I've implemented is being able to for him to be patient with mommy and mommy be patient with him. And so we have been doing a lot of paint therapy, just us going to a park and buying one of them dollar canvases at the Dollar Tree and just getting it in outside.
That's
so
right.
I'm able to take a breather.
Right.
And really, self-care for me is I definitely have to write down like a to-do list.
Yeah,
I have to be able to see what's next, what do you have going on, what's more important, and just checking it off. That makes me feel so much more better about myself and makes me motivated to be like, oh, okay, I got some more shit to do. Let's go.
Right.
All right, so I'm
Why are you talking to me?
You didn't even, you just right
That's why I'm
there.
stopping.
2 sips.
That's why I'm stopping.
I gotta chill for that Darby gone.
Because you see, I took them 2 sisters just snuck on me just now. The phases are coming. I ain't got to the 3rd phase.
Plug.
I'm crazy. You're crazy. I
So-
love it though.
So what does your self-care look like?
So self-care to me is my nails done.
Yeah. If you hear this,
get my
look
nails,
she will do
get
this in
my
a
nails
minute.
done, getting my feet done. I like pedicures and stuff. Keep my hair up. Taking myself out to eat. Like 2 weeks ago, I went to where did I go? Cheesecake Factory.
Hey.
It was fire too.
Yeah.
So like taking myself out to eat, reading a book, writing poetry, turning my phone off, and just like watching Netflix, binge watching Netflix all day. Like that is self-care for me. Like the Polished Lady said, writing my daily tasks down,
Yeah.
or I ain't gonna say daily, weekly tasks down, and like checking them off as I do stuff, like something simple like cook this week, or go to the store, buy new pillows, or do your laundry, like stuff like that.
Goes a long way.
Definitely does.
Yeah, even something simple as talking on the phone to my friends that are like motivating me or inspiring me to do better. Listening to music and just like affirming myself daily. That's in taking baths. Lighting candles, taking baths.
Yes.
It's
Like,
very
it's
relaxing.
a whole mood.
Shut.
What about you, promo goddess? You got an answer too.
So I'm getting better with my self-care.
Right, yeah.
So I do so much throughout the day, and then it's just so hard to keep up. But I am getting a little bit better. You know what I'm saying? So a couple things that I might do is I do have to write down everything, like you said, and then you as well. Because if I'm not organized, then everything is in chaos. And then I'll go off the radar for a little bit, couple hours, cut my phone off, put on do not disturb, don't call me, don't text me. If you see social media, you don't see me on social media.
Right.
I'll sit and play the game for a while. I'm a gamer. I try to do a little bit better because at one point in time I wasn't doing it at all, and it put me in a real bad headspace.
Right.
So I now that I'm getting older and I'm getting a lot more on my plate, I try to keep up with it as much as possible. Definitely.
Which is smart. Very
Absolutely.
smart.
Yeah.
So.
Whoa.
Whoa.
We just woke there.
So, I do want to talk to you two. This is specifically for y'all too. You know, we're gonna switch the tables a little bit because we can't relate. You know, team no kids over here.
But listen, I take that birth control faithfully, and I need to get paid for that.
So, with everything going on in society today, and with everything that's been going on as far as Black Lives Matter, both of you have boys. How does that put you in the headspace with everything going on and everything that's been transpiring in the world today?
Ooh, baby.
Ooh, child.
Man, I love my boy. But it is hard. It's scary as hell. You know, just thinking about when all that stuff hit. I think it just brought light to everything. And it's just like for me, it's like at what point do you see my son as a threat?
Right.
And what point does he go from being cute to a threat? And of what point does he go from being my baby to your threat? And it's just like, man, because he's always gonna be my baby, but
Right.
and it's just don't cry, bitch. If you cry, I'm cry. Turn around.
Oh,
Turn around.
that poem you wrote.
Oh yeah. I was blessed enough to be able to speak at an event that was for social justice that's with the Hill, and it's just. And it was literally how I was feeling about my son, like because they're so innocent and so pure, and it's just like he couldn't fathom. He was just like, well, why? He was like, did he do anything wrong? I was like, no. Did he do this? Why did he kill him? I'm like, he was like, well, and I'm telling him what to do in a situation if we see the police officer, and he's like, if we do all this, would he kill us? And I was like, I don't know. That's all I can tell you is I don't know, because you don't know.
Right.
And really right now, all I can do is I don't want to be scared enough where I don't instill in him how amazing he is as a black man and how important that is. So I definitely don't want to instill fear in him in that sense, but I want him to come home. So it's just like, it's still me trying to figure out that healthy balance of like, to let him live, let him become everything he's supposed to be, but at the same time, as a mother, I do have that fear. I want him to come home. So
you have to
educate, and it's just like, but I want you to, if you feel like you need to go run and fuck up these streets, do it. Like, it's just like,
Do it, baby, do it.
That's you know what I'm saying? Like that's my other side of me, because I've always been like, I've been that bold person and do what you want to do, but it's just like at the same time, come home. But it is hard. Like, I can't say I have all the answers. In parenting, that's just what that is. We all learning. If anybody tell you they got a 101 book, they lying.
They lying. I ain't never seen it.
Never seen it. Don't nobody know nobody knows what they're doing. It's a day by day thing. Everybody's winging it. And if they tell you anything different, they're lying. And all you're trying to do is, I remember me and D Daddy was talking about it one time, and she said, I forgot exactly how you said it, but I just don't want to.
I know what you're talking about.
You know what I'm talking about? Do you remember how you said it?
I said,
You don't remember it?
I said I don't want to be. I don't want to cause something about I don't want to cause anything that my child is gonna have to heal from.
That's what it was,
Something
exactly.
like that.
Okay.
And that's
childhood trauma.
Yeah, yeah.
Go
And that's my main thing.
Yeah, but go mama.
Exactly. Because we were talking about all this, and that's the main thing. Like, I just want him to be great in the midst of this, because that's what we are. And everybody else is trying to tell us otherwise. And so, yeah. What about, you go ahead.
So it all started before I was a mom. Actually, I was talking to this Boy Scout counselor, and he was basically telling me that I will never be able to truly speak to black men or black boys because I'm not a mom and I'm not a male. And I was like, I don't really believe that. And so moving forward from there, I had the great opportunity to speak at the State House to 400 black boys while in front of the commissioner and everything. And so that was just a like aha moment, like you telling me I can't do this, but I really can. And I'm gonna instill the positive self-talk in these boys that I know and I was taught, and it's gonna sound different coming from a woman that it's ever gonna sound coming from another man. I know sometimes you want to have like-minded mentors and individuals, but that's not always the case. Somebody might inspire you that you have no idea. They might not be the same sex as you, but they said something so powerful that just changed your whole perspective and how you view things. So moving forward, I didn't know I was pregnant at that time, but baby Waleed came in April, and during the week that he was actually coming, that's funny, it was graduation, actually finals week, so I'm laid up in the hospital about to have a C-section, turning in my finals and everything. And so he was a preemie baby, and so I just felt like, Waleed, you've been fighting before you was even thought of. You've been fighting in my womb, out the womb, with the little tubes in your nose. I'm just crying. I'm like, what did I do to him? Why didn't he have what he needed to go home safe and not be in the NICU and all that other stuff? But really, during those times, I learned I'm gonna have to be strong for you so you can be strong for me. That was a key factor, and that's how I live my parenting life, is knowing that yes, it's all these crazy things happening to our black men, but you are a king. I call myself the polished lady, but that's definitely the polished prince. I instill royalty in him. He is who I say you are, and you are who you believe you are. You know what I'm saying?
Damn it.
So I'm just saying, like, positive self-talk, that's a motherfucking, it works. It's something I truly believe in because it helped me see who I am. I'm a powerful individual, and people always come to me and say, I can't believe you talk like that. I can't believe you speak in front of the YouTube. I don't understand how you do it all the time. I'm like, it's easy because that was my God gift. That was my God-given gift. And just like this mom shit, this is a God-given dream.
That should be a shirt,
you know
mom shit.
Mom shit.
Hold on, I can press it. I got the cricket at home. Hey, you want
Hey,
mama
this is
hustle?
copyrighted, okay?
But yeah, this
We need to
mom
stop
shit, we definitely can accomplish anything, and it's just keep uplifting your sons. Keep telling them, this is the protocol in case you run into this situation. Don't be a dumbass and think that you greater than the law, and being so led by society and social media about you gotta be that one ignorant ass nigga. You don't wanna be that person, because that one ignorant ass nigga moment gonna get you out of here, and then your mama gotta bury you. She ain't got the money. GoFundMe's go up. I'm sick of it. I'm really sick of it, and I'm hurt by it. So I definitely make sure I'll be like, baby, you a king every day. He's only 2. He eats Benihanas. He likes Starbucks, and he has a college 5-9 plan. I've started that ever since the moment I knew he was pregnant. I mean, he was in my belly. He wasn't pregnant. I was pregnant. And so yeah,
He was cooking.
you know what I'm saying? He was in the oven. And yeah, so you just gotta keep that momentum up and just raise these kings to be kings.
Period. Stamp it. Damn it.
Mom shit.
Mom shit, we on that. So, ladies, how do you feel about the culture of podcasting in Indianapolis? Have the podcasting community been very supportive? I know you come from a previous podcast, so what would you say? You felt they supported you, they haven't supported you, they brought followers, they haven't brought followers?
I feel like the podcast culture, you say culture or community?
Culture.
The podcast culture is very supportive to Herspective Podcast. One thing I will say is that we need more women. Like we do not have many women podcasts. I could think of one, and that's shout out to Shenanigans Podcast.
Hey,
that's it. I can't think of no more. We had, Levels of Melanin when I was a part of that. There also was Two Big Mouth Black Girls. They were a good podcast. Both of them were cool. I don't know what happened to them, but we don't have many. It's only 2 female podcasts that I know of, and that's us.
I heard about 3 queens and 3 queens and a king.
I ain't heard that.
I ain't heard of that one. Okay.
No, I ain't heard of that.
I heard of it.
But yeah, the podcast culture is very supportive. Like other podcasts that listen to us, they support us. We haven't had any events yet, but when we go to other people events, they talk to us, they ask us what's going on, blah blah blah. People ask us about our merchandise, like we got t-shirts, like us personally, we got t-shirts.
Come on, it.
The merchandise is coming soon. Like we only got.
We're not part of the general population.
Right? Oh my god.
We got hats.
I feel like we part of the squad now.
I did bring you a sticker though.
How you loyal?
I brought you a vinyl sticker.
Mm-hmm.
Vinyl sticker.
Hey, see, okay, I digress.
I digress.
Yeah, go on.
But yeah, we got a lot of stuff in the works though. We wanted to do a launch party and everything, but COVID hit and it was just like, launch party? So,
damn Rona.
Right.
Rona messed it up. But I agree with D Daddy. I'm new to the podcast community, so they've been very supportive of me. Before we even started, before we even launched, people had us on the show before we launched. And I could see them having D Daddy on, but they didn't know me. She knew me, but like a lot of people didn't know me. And so they let me on the show as well. And, before we even had anything to show for Herspective. So, and like she said, we don't have many women, but we do have a lot of women supporters. And people give us great feedback, the good and the bad and the ugly, everything we need to make our podcast successful. Even guests that we've had on the show, same thing goes for them, giving us feedback and supporting us as well. But yeah, like I said earlier, people say that indie doesn't support. It's out there. It's just that you just have to be willing to put yourself out there
and surround yourself with the right people.
That too, indeed. So yeah, podcast community indie is lit.
Hey, where can people follow you? And then where can people listen to the podcast at?
All right. You can tune into Herspective Podcast on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Google Podcasts. You can check us out on Facebook and Instagram at Herspective Pod. #BeHerby.
Heard.
Thank you, D Daddy on the 1 and 2. Don't forget to tweet us at Twitter at Herspective, and please send us all that stuff on, what is it? Oh yeah, his perceptions, everything. Any questions you got for us at herspectivepod411@gmail.com. I think that's everything.
You needed my voiceovers.
I can.
Listen,
and y'all also can follow our personal Instagrams.
Yes.
Mine is D Dowdy Does It. B Michelle is B_Michelle.
Indeed.
Spell that D Dowdy for the people.
D Dowdy?
Yeah,
My name?
spell it.
Yeah.
Oh. Your name.
So my Instagram is the @D Dowdy DDOWDY does DODOSIT. D Dowdy Does It.
And my personal is B__ Michelle. __ Michelle, MICHELLE. Check us out, y'all. All right.
I like that voice.
Thanks for watching, guys.
I've been trying to get on
Make sure y'all
voiceover.
tune in every Tuesday.
Yes. Sorry. I forgot.
Oh, you didn't cut it? My bad.
Oh, sorry. Tune in every Tuesday to Herspective Podcast. Check us out. We lit. All right, bye. Turn it off.
All right, bye.
Turn it off.